And hey, we're back, everybody. How you doing? Nice to see you. Just thought of something. I want to show you something right here. Check out this little thingy right. Where is that thing? I want to show you. There it is, right there. Check this out. Check this out. Check it out. Check.
Markeer Jansen.
Strange. How you guys doing? Sorry about that. Just tried to figure something out there, and I got the second thing. I don't know what's going on with my channel. Strange. How you guys doing? Hi. Sorry about that. Just tried to figure something out there.
I'm back.
And I got the second thing. I don't know what's going on with my channel. Let me turn that off. I'm back and welcome. Sorry about that. I just tried to figure this out and went kind of goofy. Anyway, we're here. How are you? Welcome to the afternoon session. We have an hour to go in the day. The Dow's up 98, S&P down 6, NASDAQ down 66. I think they've been negative all day. The Dow's been sort of positive all day. We're trying, but not really a lot going on here. What are you going to do? Stocks that we're following. Rocket Lab is holding a gain of 33 cents at 14.38. SoFi's at 17.80, up 16. It did touch $18 for a bit today. I don't know if it got much past that. 18.08, I guess. GameStop up 3.49 right now to 188.65. Matterport down $1.73 to 20.53. This is kind of the low neighborhood here, unfortunately. ME is down 47 cents to 8.81. We had a low of like 8.83 and then came back to about 9.04. Now we're at 8.78. So 1 million volume on ME, no news. Waiting for them to speak. Smart Rent up 28 cents to 13.25. That took a shot in the last hour. SPIR 14.06 up 21 cents. ATIP 3.99 a share, touched 4 today. Up 22 cents on 1.2 million. No news on ATIP, but we're all sensing, there's a new CEO coming to town. We're just waiting for this to happen. See who he or she might be. Sextera up 11 cents to 9.34. That came up from a low of 9.04, so a 30-cent bump from the low to where we are now. AMC is down 60 cents, sitting at 39.41. AMC's having a tough time holding 40. And 50 is a while ago. That's now becoming a bit of a memory. We just had another weekend. The movies are up, and it's just not happening. It's not economically happening for AMC. Hood, Robinhood down 12 cents. Not much going on. Vanik down 79. Home Depot up 389, IBM up 146 to 138.95. Dow Jones up 99 points. We've got Microsoft down 557. Bad day all day. Apple down 148. Nothing to worry about there. We got as low on Apple as 143 today, 143.82. Now 145.44. So it's off a bit. Tesla up $22, $796. Very good day today. Very good volume. There's good vibes coming out of the Tesla world, and it's been a pretty good week, because a week ago the shares were sitting around 740. Now we're at almost 800, so that's pretty good. And in the last month, the shares have come from about a low as about 720. So an $80 move. That's really nice. Really nice for Tesla. Bed Bath Beyond up 88 cents. BlackBerry down 23. Royal Caribbean holding at 93.12. Did get as high as 95.22. Now 93.11. Still gaining on the day, but slumping a little now. And Goldman Sachs, $399.35. High of the day, 401. And taking a little pause here, see if it wants to go higher. I'm sure it certainly should go higher, but will it is the question. That is what we want to know. Lots of questions about China paying those debts, paying those interest payments for Evergrande. Lots of spillover worries there. They're trying to keep it internal. I don't like their chances. I think they've got issues, a lot of financial issues that are just under the surface. They're trying to bury them. They're trying to keep it out of the limelight. Sometimes their method is attack others rather than let you check them out. But China is a possible nightmare over there. I would avoid China. Welcome. What is going to happen here? We'll see. Welcome all to the show. Those of you who are members and who are not, nice to have you here. But ATIP, what's going on? It's now back to $4. Nice to see it bump back up about 40-50 cents in the last week. Will it keep it going? Will there be more momentum to this stock? I sure hope so. We're just waiting for confirmation and announcement of a new CEO, and then tell us what your plan is. Give us your plan. Is that your whole plan? What's your plan? And we'll go from there. Thank you for joining me. We're going to members only right now for chat, as we normally do on this channel. Those of you who are hanging around socially and just enjoying us, I'm glad you're here. If you can check us out as a member, I'd love to have you. You're able to make comments on the show live. Be great. Okay. ATIP, over 1 million traded today. Come on, ATIP. Bring your new person on for us. Tell us who it is. That would be just terrific. We'll see what we'll see what your plan is, and we'll go from there. Anyway, there you go. Those ATIP $2.50 calls for March are moving nicely. Yeah, you get the stock, every penny the stock goes up, those 2.5s are further in the money. This is exactly what I mean when I try to tell you buy in the money calls if you can, depending on the stock. You get an absolute dollar for dollar or maybe 90 cents to $1 movement. Stock goes up $1, your contracts go up 90 cents. It's a real good move. And ATIP, I think that the opportunity for the stock to reach the 6-7 range, it would be a no-brainer with a new CEO and a plan. But we've got to get there, and we'll have to wait that out and see when we, what day is it? Is it today? Is it tomorrow? Is it Wednesday? Is it next Monday? When? Just let me know. It's been 6 weeks. Sure, I'd like to get an update on that right ASAP. That would be beautiful. All right, SoFi 1780 up 16 cents. We've had good volume on SoFi again today. Volume today now is showing 31,200,000. So that's good stuff. I read a headline, something about how SPACs originally came out, and there were investors into the SPACs at $10 a share. But in the last little while, as they make their deals, stories now are something along the lines that once the deals are done and the mergers are completed, which can take up to 6-7 months instead of 3, it's beginning to be noticed by analysts that the shareholders of these companies start to turn over, and that a lot of the original investors who got in at 10 and rode the wave, they slowly exit out and are replaced by a whole new group of investors. And one of the groups being mentioned are day traders. I don't mind day traders. Day traders cause momentum moves. Day traders are great for option writing. Day traders are great for liquidity. They're also great for spreading news. So when a company makes an announcement like Rocket Lab that they've got to deal with the Space Force, the U.S. Space Force. The day traders are the ones exposing that news like crazy to all their pals, and that spreads like wildfire. And sometimes the stocks, move up when they shouldn't move up. They move down when they shouldn't move down, and do whatever. But in general, day traders can be very good for the liquidity of a stock and for the ability of an investor relations team to expose their company's exploits a lot easier. If you have an army of day traders, these guys are like wild. They'll spread rumors and news like wildfire. So Matterport is a classic example. This is a company that comes out with a almost weekly news. You get day traders involved with Matterport, which could be happening. You might have 1 million people know about an announcement of Matterport within 2 hours of the release of the announcement. That's good stuff. Now you keep growing that out. Like SoFi, another classic example. SoFi, if they were to announce their bank charter, 20 million people would know about it within an hour, and would be following that news closely. And heck, if 1 million people tried to then buy into the stock of SoFi and try to get 1,000 shares each or whatever it is, plus institutions and everything else, the stock's gone. I mean, it would just go nuts. So I kind of like that story as it leaked out, or it was made. It was in the Wall Street Journal, and I caught that. I kind of like what I hear there. So yeah, pretty cool. We'll see what happens there. That would be beautiful. I bought my Matterport. I bought back my Matterport $25 covered call, says Chris Gandhi. Looked at writing puts on Matterport as the premium was looking good. Just don't have the spare cash to cover. But you bought back your covered call for a discount. Thank you very much. Took in some money. Thank you very much. Stock comes back up again. Write it again. And away we go. Are people thinking about buying back Matterport covered calls today, or holding up for more of a pullback? Here's one who just made the call. If you're able to score, you're able to score 50%, 60%, 70% on a call you wrote just a few days ago. When Matterport hit $22, $23, if you're writing 25s and you can now buy them for less than half, why not buy them back and score the differential? And that's just really good training on how this works. And you do these turnovers again and again and again. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. What else is going back? Sold what wasn't covered this morning. Chris got some. Same, I got my November 25s back for $75 profit. Right on. It's up to you. If you're making money, then you decide. Let's see. Yeah, same here. I got about $115, about 80 pounds for me. Nice. If you've written one call on 100 shares and you can make $100, $50, $80, you look at the percentage of that transaction. You know that when you write a call contract, you write a call and you're getting, say, $2 for it, the most you can make is $2 when you write it, because you know that it's either going to go to zero or you're going to buy it back between zero and whatever price you buy it back for. So if you can buy it back for 80 cents, 90 cents, 70 cents, 65 cents in 1 or 2 or 3 days, you do it. And if the stock takes a bit of a run, and this afternoon has a little recovery here, it comes back to 21.50, 21.75, maybe you'll write at 22.50. Maybe you'll stock has a better run later today or tomorrow, you write another 25. And you do it again and again and again. If you can do 3, 4 writes, 5 writes, 6 writes in a month, where you write, buy back, even if you're making $50 to $100 per call on just 100 shares of Matterport, pull in $50 6 times, it's $300 a month. What did you pay for your Matterport? Did you get it for $12, $14? If you can make $300 a month on a $1,400 original investment, is that pretty good cash flow? I would say so. And now you can buy another 20 shares of Matterport on the house with house money and slowly acquire enough to get a second 100 shares and now write 2 contracts at a time. Yeah, it can be done, right? What do you think about Kevin Griffith from Citadel being caught perjuring himself at the hearing? I don't even know what that's about. I'm not sure what he's talking about. I don't know anything about it, so fill me in. Hey, Bruce, believe strongly Matterport will go up from here. So bought back call, $118 profit, sold shares, sold in the money put, and will make $208 total profit when they exercise and they get my shares back. there you are. There's a strategy if that works for you. Pete, wait, John, you are fined 5 credits for repeated violations of the emoji spam morality statute. Swag on says SoFi about to rip. George, SoFi 1790 says George. 1793 says Bruce. Yes, getting better all the time. Bruce, do you think the volatility index shows any indication on how fourth quarter will look? I read an article that the fourth quarter is looking strong with a 5% growth per VIX, but I don't have the experience you have. I don't get into this very much. I really don't. I don't look at this kind of stuff religiously. It's not what I use to gauge what's going on. I'm more old school, and so I'm watching the unemployment rate. I'm watching job openings. I'm watching jobless claims. I'm watching interest rates. I'm watching price of oil. I'm watching commodity prices. I'm watching just momentum of the market. I'm listening to and watching for the big brokerage firms, analysts give their opinion on what they see happening, what's going on. I want to hear from Europe what's going on. I want to hear from Asia what's going on. The VIX and the volatility index and all this. I kind of go, yeah, it's a sideline, but I just don't. It's not that important to me. It's not the first thing I look at. It's like something I'll notice and go, yeah, okay, whatever. But I have another big picture in mind about where I think the economy is going by watching all these other indicators. Anyway, I love SoFi so much, says Auntie. What are your thoughts about the oil price? As I've made my point known a million times over, there is no oil shortage. I noticed today that natural gas went up nicely. And I will say this, sitting in Alberta, Calgary, in a top secret hotel location right now, sitting in Calgary, I can tell you that this region of Canada, and British Columbia and Saskatchewan, with the natural gas prices doing what they're doing right now, around here, everyone's just rubbing their hands with glee. They're loving it because natural gas has been super depressed for years, like a decade. It's been way down in the $2 per 1,000 cubic feet pricing, really cheap. Now it's over $5. But I can also tell you that the pros around here, the energy professionals who know their stuff, they know this can't last. Because the reality with the natural gas market is for every extra barrel of oil they're sloshing around these parts, there's the equivalent of 20 barrels of natural gas, if natural gas were measured in barrels. There is so much natural gas in North America, it is unthinkable. I'll tell you how bad it is, or how plentiful. There are oil producers in various states in the United States under state law that are allowed to what we call flare off natural gas from oil wells. So, for instance, like maybe I'm not sure if it's Pennsylvania. I could be wrong. It might be Ohio, but there are other states, Oklahoma, Texas, maybe a few others, where what they'll do is they'll drill for oil. They'll get oil and natural gas. And they will, if they're near a natural gas pipeline and they can get a contract to supply natural gas, they'll get the gas out, the oil out, separate it, flow natural gas to a natural gas pipeline and get paid for it. And then the oil will flow to another pipeline and go to an oil refinery and they'll get paid for that. Now, if you're in the middle of nowhere, middle of the desert, and you're producing this kind of stuff, you're going to produce oil from maybe 20 oil wells in an area, and the wells will have pipes that will go to what's called a storage unit in the area, and they will slowly but surely fill up these giant drums, oil drums, full of just raw crude oil. But the natural gas has nowhere to go. The natural gas is useless. The natural gas is a pain in the rear end. These guys will get licenses and they will get permits to be able to flare it off. In other words, you drive by an oil field and you'll see a flame coming out of a pipe standing 20 feet tall in the middle of a cornfield or middle of the desert area. And that's just natural gas being burned away. Burned away. It's residue. And this adds to greenhouse gases, yes. It's a waste, yes it is. The amount of gas they're blowing off could probably power dozens of homes a year for heat and air conditioning. Could power enough of those could power plants to make electricity. But being in the middle of nowhere, there's nowhere for this gas to go, and they can't necessarily return it back to the ground economically. So they get the state to give them a waiver to allow them to burn it off. The other thing that happens in a lot of the oil patch, and this is one of those little, I'll call it a dirty little secret, but no oil company will confirm this because they don't want to admit to it. But there are instances, many instances, and I'm not talking 10 or 20, I'm talking 1,000, where if you took a measuring device that could measure oil, natural gas in the air, in other words, can you detect natural gas leaks? Get those kinds of instruments. You go out into oil-producing fields across Canada and the U.S., and you will find, in some cases, where oil is produced, but there's natural gas leaking in the air. And that's because there are faulty connections along the pipe where under pressure this stuff comes up from the ground and oil flows into an oil thing, but gas leaks out. It's not flared, it's not on fire, it's not ignited, it's just leaking. And these companies, they're not supposed to have that happen. It's supposed to be captured, either stored, compressed, or perhaps re-injected back into the ground. But that's expensive. It's a lot cheaper just let it leak away. And there are billions of cubic feet of natural gas every day just escaping into the atmosphere from all over the place, where you have oil and gas companies who just they're small. They have a very small profit margin. They don't have the dough. They don't have the inclination, and they're not. If they can get away with it, they'll get away with it. They'll just let it leak off. And there is no shortage of natural gas. What I'm really getting to is there's absolutely no shortage of natural gas. What there's a shortage of, and I'll bring it up from time to time, there's a shortage of infrastructure to get it to you efficiently. There's an infrastructure shortage in Canada and the US and elsewhere of getting supplies to where they have to go. And one of them is natural gas, because there's so much of it. And it's cheaper to burn it off, leak it away, pretend it doesn't exist, or re-inject it back into the ground if economically viable, than use it. It's truly stunning. The amount of waste that there is in the patch, in the oil and gas patch, stunning. But again, most average people don't know it. Now around here, we know it because we're in the patch. This Alberta region, this is the corporate headquarters for Canadian oil and gas business. Edmonton, Alberta, the Twin City here, another 1.5 million people. That is where you've got the field workers. Edmonton is known as the place where the equipment comes from and the people that can operate it. So you can find it, you can extract it, you can separate it, you can compress gas, you can build pipelines, you can get it to refineries, operate refineries. All these folks, all that infrastructure is Edmonton. Calgary is, generally speaking, where the white collar with the shirt and tie guys have always been, making the oil and gas deals between companies to figure out consortiums to drill, explore, and then market the product. So the money is handled here, and the muscle is in Edmonton. And then the rest of the province is just wide open for exploration and everything else. And of course we have farming up here, and we have tourism up here, and we have everything else. And the oil sands up in the northern part of the province, which is its own little world up there too. So the experts for the Canadian oil and gas patch are in this area. So what I'm telling you about is all the stuff I've learned over 40 years of being in and out of here, over all these decades. The oil and gas guys have really become smart in how to extract oil from the ground, from rock formations that they could never get it out of in the 50s and the 40s. There are oil fields today producing oil and gas that were written off as lost causes back in the 50s, 60s, because the technology did not exist back then as to how to extract oil from shale formations or other underground rock formations. Now with new chemicals and new pressure techniques and injection systems and you name it, so much high tech has gone into it. They figured out how to revive dead oil fields and bring them back to life and make them very economical. And they have figured out how to bring what used to be marginal oil and gas finds to become very profitable. And at one time, you used to just drill a well in the middle of nowhere. You just used to drill one well. You found nothing, you left. Nowadays, you drill a well, you send out all the seismic info, and you may find that you are in a rock formation that can produce oil. But once you drill down to 5,000 feet, 8,000 feet, 12,000 feet, however deep you got to go, you can then do directional drilling from there. In other words, if you're looking down from I'm in the air now, I'm looking down at the ground, the hole goes way down, and then one goes this way, one goes this way, one goes this way, one goes this way. Every like 5 minutes on the clock, every 5 minute mark, a pipe goes out horizontally inside a rock formation for miles each direction. So from the air, the geologist can envision that one well has 16 wells or 12 wells reaching out in a circle all around it. And there's another one here, another one here, another one here, another one here. Each one has a circle, a mile or a diameter, 2 miles in diameter, each one. So now you drill 20 of those times 12 to 16 wells per location, and you have over 300 wells or 250 wells producing for you in one field. In the 1960s, you had 12 holes, and you were hoping that all 12 holes would bring enough oil up that you could make it pay. But now you have 250 holes where there used to be 12, or 250 producing wells where there used to be 12. That's how grotesque it is. That's how far it's gone. The environmentalists are screaming holy murder because there are chemicals injected down these holes, down these wells, all the way out, 2 miles each direction, to loosen the chemicals from the rock through acidic and other mercury and all kinds of other poisons, to get it to loosen up, to flow. And then the same pipes that you inject the gunk with are the same pipes that now bring it back up to the surface, all in one location. And that one surface well now has pipes coming out of it, and this stuff gets collected. Now they try to collect the poisons, chemicals in one tank, and then deal with it. They try to recycle it and reuse it. And then the oil and whatever else goes over these other tanks, and then has to go to refineries to be purified so that we can produce nice clean plastics. We can produce pharmaceuticals. We can produce agricultural goods like fertilizers. We can produce the iPhone plastics that make this thing. The iPads, computers, our TVs, our everything. Oil and gas is in everything. I mean, the chemical composition of this stuff is unbelievable. And the mankind would be dead without it. You have to have, modern mankind needs oil and gas in every aspect, including literally pumping a liquid into a gas tank to fire up a car. It's an amazing product, and it has an amazing uses. In any event, natural gas is up, and this province is breathing a huge sigh of relief because the income taxes coming in from the oil patch here and in other energy producing areas in the US, let's say, way off. And having a bump like natural gas, there's royalties going to governments. And this is a huge boost for the Alberta government's economy. And this province here runs a deficit like you can't believe, and it never used to, but it has been. And the hope is that maybe this province might break even because of the COVID spending it's had to do and all the problems it's got. So there's good and bad happening in Alberta. Same with Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, North, South Dakota. You name the state in the U.S. that produces oil and gas, natural gas. Higher prices are good for certain regions of the country, bad for others. It's been an interesting market, to say the least. Anyway, I hope I didn't bore you too much. Oil price, what can I say? AB, I have a single October 13th SOFI call that's worth like $500 at the money. SOFI 13, so it's in the money right now because you're 1782. Should I roll it in anything, SOFI, or just let it run to expiration? You have October 13th. Okay. Right, $13, and now you're $17.82. So you're just about a $500 value, right? So you're going to go up or down with the stock. There's no premium here, right? So you have a choice to make. Do you sell it and go into something further out because you believe, like I do, there's further upside? certainly is doable. Do you just sell the stock and sell the option and just buy stock with it? Well, with $500, you're going to get about 30 shares, I suppose. Do you put together additional capital? Can you get your hands on 100 shares of SoFi by doing this move overall, so that when the SoFi breaks into the 20s, you can start writing? Or do you just roll over into another contract? Do you look at maybe picking up January, February's, or March's that might be 1750s? Can you pick off, can you get something like that? I would take a look at something like that as an idea. I would take a look at maybe looking for, maybe looking for a contract. Let me take a look here. Here we go. I'll get my option chain up on SoFi. There we go. Let's take a look at, say, January. These got to be expensive, though. Here we go. Yeah. All right. Well, 1750 calls are $2.94 to $3. 15s are $4.30. So I mean, theoretically, you could sell this one here, which is the $13 call, turn around and buy a 1750 January 2022 contract, and it'll run you a little less. It'll be about $70, $80 less than this one, and you've now still got a contract. You're at the money, 1750 versus 1780 for stock. And you've got, you're in the money. You're buying a 15. You're buying a 15 that's 280 in the money. That's right. You're 280 in the money, paying 430. I'd make that move for a contract. Yeah, I would do that. The other option you have, the other choice, is if you buy a 1750, you can't quite get two of those. But if you add a little extra cash on top of the 500 you're getting, you could buy two call contracts on the 1750s, which are at the money, 30 cents in. But that's a $3 contract. That's a lot of premium. But that can be done. On the $20 contract for January, you're going to pay a little over $2, like $2.03, $2.05. You could get two of those for sure. The other option, if you go further out, would be April of 2022. And for that contract, you can definitely get one $15 contract. It's worth $4.95 to $5, same price. So you'd go from a 13 to a 15, but you go out to April, smart move. Or if you went out to a 20, a little further out in price, but further out in time, you're paying about $2.85, something like that. You're going to need about 50, 60 more bucks, $70, and you can get two of the $20 April 22s. And that might, for leverage, might be your other smart move. There's a couple of thoughts for you, A, B. Think about it. See what you want to do. Let's go. Here we go. You were right, Clay says. You were right. Holding gains, like holding losses, is the other hardest part of trading. My ATIP and SoFi calls are profitable, and I want to make money now. Yeah, you don't sell those. You sit back now. Yeah, you let the stocks work for you now. They have a job to do, and that is go higher. And it's payday for you, but it'll take a while for you to cash in. But you're in a position of strength on these now. Let them make a move, and let's see what happens. 398 on ATIP. SPIR 1408 up 23 cents. Smart Rand up 28 to 1325. ME still under pressure at 880. Matterport 2058 down 169. GameStop up 432. SoFi at 1782, and Rocket Lab 1437. That's where we are right now. Okay. We're not rubbing our hands in the UK apart to keep warm. That's why we're rubbing our hands. We're trying to keep warm here. Oil prices are controlled by producers' manipulation. Karim, Uncle Bruce, CNBC says oil surplus days are likely over. I don't buy it. I don't buy it one iota. There is so much oil in the ground, locked in between Canada and the USA. We are drowning in this stuff. The Gulf oil fields, they will come back on soon. Don't worry about it. There's already some production. There'll be much more. At these prices, I can guarantee you the oil companies are ramping up production. There is no shortage of this stuff. It's getting it to you. That's the problem. Hungry Grizzly, U.S. and Canada are so far removed from the rest of the world on natural gas. Exactly. So companies claiming supply issues to justify the price increases. See, the thing, too, is between Canada and the USA is that we're drowning in this stuff. Europeans are scrambling to get it. Germany has to buy natural gas from Russia, of all customers. They got to buy it from Russia, which is unfortunate because it keeps Putin's house going with all the bribes he's paying off with all of his guys. But in North America, we're drowning in this stuff. And yet, as easy as it is to get natural gas, we're not taking advantage of it. In North America, we could refine a lot more natural gas and convert it into finished products, like plastic cases for this, or car parts and household usage. I mean, just a million things you can do with natural gas that you can convert it into. But we don't. We literally export the stuff raw, like we export it, and it goes to other countries, and they refine it and turn it into products that we buy back. It's stupid. It is just so stupid. We give away so many jobs because we're lazy. We're just lazy. We're going for the fast buck, and we don't invest. This is our problem. Uncle was taking on the oil companies as well as China. Oh boy, it's a good thing he's on the road already. Pete, you're so much for the seashells. See you in a few minutes. Clay, Rob, anti-vax with China, big oil. I've never seen a man make as many enemies as Uncle Bruce. I tell you, I really wonder. I really wonder about North America sometimes. We have an aging population. Oil is a dying industry, by the way. All oil companies can now do is restrict supply and diversify profit. We're an aging population. We're not having enough children. Jen and I had one. Our daughter isn't having one at this point. So we're not replicating, and this is all over North America. We are not replicating like our parents did and our grandparents did, and so our population is aging. We're all overweight. We all have it too easy. We are not innovating. We're not investing in the infrastructure because we don't want to pay the taxes. We're lazy and we're greedy, and we'd rather vote a politician in that won't increase taxes. Then bring one in that's going to change the world. It's just the way it is. This is nothing personal. It's just the way we are. We've been doing this for 30 years, folks. This isn't like brand new news for you, okay? It's a fact. We are fat, and we are sloppy, and we are suffering from health issues like you cannot believe, from lousy eating, no exercising, unmotivated. There are winners in this society, yes. There are doers, yes. But as a whole, we are failing bigly. And other countries are having our lunch. And that's just a fact. It's countries that are surrounded by other countries that have no water export capability, or they have very limited, or they have no natural resources, have a higher standard of living than we have. And we have it all. We have oceans, lakes, rivers, fields to grow crops, population centers, customers, innovation, high-tech everything, no wars. We're not fighting enemies at our doors. We don't have a civil war going on. We got everything. We've got everything going for us except motivation. And we're just letting it slip away. And there are countries out there who are desperate to survive, trying to stay ahead, and knowing they have to be cutting edge, and they know they have to make an investment in their children and in their education system and in their country's infrastructure, and they are prepared to sacrifice the present day comforts to get it, and they get the benefits. And it's happening again and again and again. And so we're losing our place in the world as far as leaders. Yeah, we got the most nukes. Yeah, we got armies. Yeah, we got aircraft carriers and all. Yeah, sure. Yeah. That don't make our kids stronger, and that doesn't make our standard of living any better. There are certain segments of the economy of Canada, USA that do really well. Yep, but not everything. And we're leaving a lot on the table. And in energy, we are really blowing it. We're sitting on the world's largest supply of this stuff, and we're just exporting it. We're like Canada with our trees. I've said this since I was 15. I kept saying to my dad, why is it, Dad, that these giant ships leave Vancouver all the time with all these logs? And the logs go to Japan, and then when they get to Japan, they treat them like gold. They really baby these things, and they take them to these factories, and they extract every ounce of everything a log can give them, including fine furniture, works of art, flooring. There's no wastage. Like every bit of the log is used until the last powder is used for energy production, whatever it is. Where in Canada, we just grow these things, and then we just chop them down in the forest. We have swaths of bare forest land all over the place, and we just ship them out to others to work them. Why don't we work the logs ourselves here in Canada and create all these factories, and we produce the furniture under license for all these brands. Why don't we create all this flooring? Why don't we make all the end product and then ship that out? So that way, when a ship leaves Vancouver, it leaves with it enough labor to have made all that stuff, to have employed thousands of Canadians with really good paying jobs. And my dad goes, that's because trees grow like weeds in this country, and we're lazy. And we just let Mother Nature grow the trees for us, and then we just chop them down and ship them away for a fast buck. That's it. That's end of story. Fast buck. What can I tell you? Sorry, it's just the way it is. It's the way it is. Anyway, 32.3 million volume on SOFI, way higher than the daily average. 1783 right now. Go, baby, go. Let's see. What else is being said here? People are worried about me having enemies. Calling ourselves lazy. What can I say? Prove me wrong. I have 50 SOFI calls, January 2022 at $20.50 strike that I'm up 28% on. Think we're going to see a charter before January, or should I roll up and out? I was expecting one by now, so it's like an any day thing. There's a lot of talk and chatter that it is at an any moment thing. So you got another month before you have to do anything, Daniel. You got another month. I'd sit tight. British shilling SOFI is doing what Elon Musk wanted to do with PayPal, take over all the money. I love poutine. Yay, more plastic. Liquefied natural gas to the line to the West Coast, big deal. Yeah, I know. We're desperate in Canada. There are companies in Canada desperate to get liquefied natural gas to the West Coast onto ships to ship it out. And I'm sitting here going, why? Why should we do that? Why should we give this stuff away in bulk like that? Why don't we just refine it into finished product that the world can use, and we can create way more wealth that way? And then whatever product we make with the product, pharmaceutical goods, medical goods, and every household thing imaginable, industry-wide, worldwide need. Why don't we just ship those finished products? We can put them on rail cars to ports, and no one will object to a rail car crossing the U.S.-Canada border, going to Portland or Chicago or wherever, because it's all finished product. It's not raw natural gas. Right now, you can't build a gas pipeline across an international border. Not going to happen. You can't build a natural gas pipeline through Indian land in Canada. Not going to happen. I say the hell with it. Send the gas to refineries and pharmaceutical plants that the government will help build and construct to encourage industry to set up shop here and create tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of jobs, and under license around the world produce licensed goods from this raw material. Why should it be made in Taiwan? Why should this be made in Japan? Why should this be made in China? The hell with the Chinese. We'll make the product ourselves. We'll have it for domestic usage. We'll bar Chinese imports and put duties on it, make it so expensive that it can't come in. We'll produce it ourselves. I'm sorry, it's just business. It's nothing personal, China. It's just business. You know, when you arrest Canadians for no reason, it's just business. It's okay. Enemies? I don't have enemies. Hey, Bruce, sold that call. I think I'll wait until tomorrow and see what happens. Also tempted to buy some $10 CYXT calls for next year too. Got a feeling we might see some SPIR and Rocket Lab like action. I'm with you, AB. I like your style. I'm with you. So if I can take over all the money at once, as long as I get some, there you go. Since you're making money, make sure to hit the like button for Bruce. Thank you, everybody. Likes and give this man thumbs. Well said. We only think of short term. We don't take care of the future. Our children's futures and those of our grandchildren. They will resent many of us. Many already do. You know, this country, Canada, the United States, we got our act together. We got our act together in the 30s and the 40s when it was really bad. When the Great Depression just wiped out the farming industry in America. America and Canada too had problems. We turned our country into a industrialized country rather than a farming country, and the wealth of North America surged. And then the war came, and Canada and the USA produced the weaponry, the manufactured goods to win the war. We outproduced the Germans for bullets, planes, tanks, trucks, jeeps, rifles, cannons, whatever it was, ships, everything. After the war, we went into the manufacturing for civilian needs, and we out-manufactured everybody for 20 years. All the 50s, all the 60s, Canada, USA, we dominated worldwide manufacturing. But then we had the natural turnover problem, and that was all of the adults from the 30s and the 40s. By the time the 60s and 70s rolled around, they were too old to keep the drive alive. How could they? They were in their 60s now. Life expectancy was mid 60s. And so we started losing our leaders, our industrial leaders. And then by the 70s and the 80s, all the army of workers that we had through the 40s and the 50s, 60s, they began to retire and die out. And we were replacing them with our next generation. But we found that we could either build a new factory in Toledo, Ohio, and produce whatever we're going to produce there, or we began to figure out we could buy this product. We could have this product made under license for us in Japan or Taiwan, and eventually China, but not till at least the 80s. But we could have this product made in third world countries for 1/2 the price, 1/4, 1/10 the price we could make it for. And so we began to do that, and we were very good at it. And what began to happen was giant ships would come in with product into North America. At Christmas time, all the toys came in the 60s from Japan. All the toys from Mattel and everybody else. Many toys, not every single toy, but many toys were made overseas. They came into North America, and under our Christmas tree, I started to notice my toys that I got were made in Japan. And they were cheap and they were crap. And then they got better and they got more expensive. And then they got made in Taiwan, and then they got made in India, and then they got made in another country. And here we are today, still doing it. And what we've done in an artificial kind of way is that we have exported all of our expertise, our manufacturing expertise, to other countries. Now, for some reasons, we do it for pollution reasons. We don't want to produce highly pollutive goods in certain jurisdictions in our North America. So you can't get an EPA clearance to produce these toxic chemicals or smoke emissions. And so the plants are in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, China, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, what used to be the third world. And they've got the pollution problems. But it's not like we aren't suffering from it, because the pollutants still go in the air. And the plastic pollutants end up in the ocean because they have no regulations over there. And so we have all the ocean pollution in the world and everything. I mean, it all comes back to roost, okay? We're on the same planet. But the North American lifestyle has been bankrolled on the backs of third worlders, and we've had a wonderful time. And we've been able to work less. And the work week used to be the 45, 50-hour work week, and then it went to the 40-hour work week, and then it went to the 37.5-hour work week. And now we have a lot of people who work from home and don't even go to an office anymore and don't go to a factory anymore. And we don't work as hard as we used to have to work. Not every single one of us. There's still some out there who work their butts off, but we live off of those folks. And life's good. What can I say? It is what it is. Anyway, there you go. What else is going on here? Welcome to the show. Hey, should I keep holding my GameStop January $240 strike? I got $20 premium for this contract, and I hope the price drops a bit more to buy them back, or be looking to rolling into something closer in time and strike price. So you wrote the January $240 strike. Okay, let me see what we can do here. Let me go to GameStop, and let me take a look at that. GameStop right there. We're now 189.60 up 444. And you wrote January 240s. Okay, so let's go over there. And we are looking at right now, January. Here we go. $240 call options are trading right now at $21.25 to $23.25. Am I right? Should I keep holding my games? I got $20 premium for, and I hope the price drops a bit more to buy them back. Okay, so the 240s are sitting right now at $21 to $23. We are talking about the expiry date exactly of January 21st. This is the 27th of September. So let's go forward. October 27th, November 27th, December 27th, January 27th. Not quite 4 months to go, right? About 16 weeks, 17 weeks maybe in time. And then there's some holidays in between all this, with Christmas and Boxing Day and New Year's Day and all that. And there's a Thanksgiving holiday. And so But say 17 weeks times 5, there's 85 days left of this contract's life. That's what's left on this contract. So this is how you can analyze a contract. You kind of just mentally say, how many days has this contract got left to go? About 85 days of trading days. Trading days. Not days, but trading days. And every trading day, it's going to lose 1/85th of its value on average. And of course, it will fluctuate up or down with the stock itself on average, right? Well, right now you're sitting at, like I say, 21 something dollars. I'm looking at, for example, from the $240 contract to the $250 contract, which is $10 more. The $250 contract is trading between 19 and 21. So if your shares were to drop $10 in value from here, 189 to 179, excuse me, this contract will go down about $2 in value. If the stock went down another $10, it would be down to the 260 mark, which is the $18 to $19 range. So you'll see some droppage there. Not a lot. Most of the droppage of this value, of this contract's value, will be time loss. So a month from now, 30 days from now, you'll have lost 20 trading days at least. Out of the 85, you'll be down to 65 trading days. And that means that this contract will trade something around where the Decembers are trading. And let me look at a December 40 just for fun. December 240 is 1565 to 1675. So if you just think about the stock not moving at all, a month from now, it will lose $5-6 a share. So that's about $1.25 a week is what this contract is going to lose on average. Couple that with couple more things. If, like I said earlier, if the stock were to go down $10 between now and a month from now, not only would you lose a month of time, but you'd be further out of the money by another $10. This contract will trade around $14.50. If the stock were to drop $20 to $169, $170, these would be down to $12 a piece. So you're looking at a 50% loss in the next month if time goes by as it does and if the shares don't perform. Okay. But most likely, you're going to be in this $16 neighborhood, $15 to $16 neighborhood a month from now. So time is on your side. This is a time play for sure. You're going to win with the clock, no question about it. Now, should you roll into something closer in time and strike price? Second part of your question. Yeah, you could look at that. You're right now, if you were to buy back these calls at the moment, let's do this again. To buy back your call right now, I'm going to guess you're going to have to pay about $22.50, something like that. So the ultimate rollover is if you can bring in at least $22.50 on the next contract you're writing or more. That's the ultimate, right? So if I come back in time and I take a look at December's just for fun, you could generate about $22.50 by writing a 210. So you'd be $30 closer to the market, but you would be a month closer in time. That's one option. You could come closer, of course. So let's take a look at November calls, just for the heck of it. To get $22 or something like that, you're going to need to write probably the 185s right at the money or just ahead of the money. So now you're gambling your contract at this level right here, 185 a share, ballpark, or 185, 187. You're only getting as much money as you're paying to get your contract, but you've moved into November's from January's. So you've brought in 60 days of calendar time or 40 something days of trading time. All right. That's a possibility. It's something you could look at. As far as October goes, looking at October 29s, which is the last Friday of October, to bring in that kind of cash, you would have to write something like a 180 or maybe a 175 or a 180, something like that. So you'd be writing an in-the-money contract, and you would need the stock to stay here or drop in value in order for you to gain money on it. It will lose time premium. Oh, yeah, because it's only got a month to go. But you're in and at the money. So you're subject to and possibly risking your shares for a takeout. So at the moment, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. You can just wait it out. You could theoretically move up, like I said, to December's for timing, and get yourself a December, write yourself a December contract. And one more thing I'll mention here, as I said earlier, a 210 will get you to between $22 and $24. A 200 will get you 26 to 27, 28. A 190 will bring you $29 to $31. So if you want to bring in more money into your account, you can do so by selling a December call for, say, 190 or 195. They will bring you between $6 and $9 more in cash for each contract, and you get a month closer. All right. The other option you have to bring in more money is you can buy back this call, the 240 call you've written, which right now is 21 to 23, and you could write a $200 call for January. It's the same month, but you're bringing it closer to the market. A 200 will bring you $32 to $35. So you could go from $22 cost and bring in about maybe $33, $34. That would bring in $1,100 or $1,200 more cash for each option you're doing the rollover on. But you're not gaining any time, but you're gaining cash because the stock is backed off. So you have to ask yourself, is that what you want to do? Now, if you did that and you wrote the $200 call, let's say, and it could be anyone you want. You could write the 190 for $38. You could write the 200 for $34. You could write the 210 for $30. Up to you. But if you did that move, you're much closer to the money. It's still all premium. It can all evaporate because the stock, if it doesn't go over 210 or whatever, the contracts are worthless, just like your 240s. But they also have 85 days to live, and they will lose 1/85th of their value every day. So these contracts might drop by $2 a week in value instead of $1 or $1.25 a week. So there's ways you can adjust it. If you're looking to raise some cash to get to buy something else, or to buy more GameStop, or whatever you want, or just build a bit of a powder, dry powder, you can buy back this contract and sell a higher priced, closer into the money contract for February, or for January if you like, and score. And the last one is, you theoretically could write an April contract. I mean, go further out, believe it or not. And if you went further out, this is your, again, millions of options here, millions of choices. You could write 240 for April and bring in between $33 and $40. It's the same contract you have now, but you'll bring in more money, but you got to wait longer for the contract to die. Or you could write a $200 contract for April. It's out of the money, and you would bring in between $43 and $48. You might bring in $46. So you would buy the one you got for $22 and sell the new one for $46. And you would bring in $2,400 more cash on one contract, just doing a rollover, going from January to April. Again, it's all premium. It's all out of the money at the moment. And if the shares stay under 210 or 200 for the next several months, or they stick around here, 175 to 195, they stay in this range, this contract will drop in value slowly but surely, and it'll probably bring you $1 to $1.25 a week per share. So if you have 100 shares, you're going to make $100 to $125 a week doing nothing with what you have, or maybe you can bring in about 150 a week or 160 a week writing this April contract, or you could bring in 150, 160, 170 a week writing a closer into the money January contract, or you can write a closer into the money December contract. So you have a lot of choices here, and none of them are wrong. Not one of them is the wrong choice. It's question up to you what kind of cash flow do you want out of the stock. If you want cash to build up some capital, or you have a bill to pay, you want to pick up some SOFI calls. Maybe do this tomorrow. You want to buy some SOFI calls. You want to write a put. You want to write a SOFI put. You can write a $20 SOFI put by bringing in $2,000 by doing a rollover on your GameStop contract. Then you can do that. You can make the GameStop give you the money to allow you to do a write of a put on Rocket Lab or SOFI, whatever you want, with a $2,000 margin requirement, and you don't have to do a darn thing. You don't have to put up any extra cash. Okay? That's why you take lessons from Uncle Bruce on the stockmarketswithbruce.ca website. This is what we talked about. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate all of you here. We're open. We're closed now for the day. We just shut her down. Josh was saying I bought 5 more ATIP calls for $250 for January, paid between $180 and $210 for 2024. I love that. Brucey, what's going on? I'm up 68% of my Matterport call. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. And I'm assuming you did that because you wrote it. You wrote the call and you're up that much money. I'm assuming that's what's going on. I scored a SOFI call, 17.5 expiring Friday for only 33 cents this morning on the dip. Went up 100% already today. Feeling good about this week. Thanks for all the help, Bruce and Bagel family. Hey, Zach, look, it's a gamble, but you know what? You didn't pay a lot of money for this thing. So, yeah, why not? You get a little flip out of it. Thank you, and I congratulate you. We are done. The market has closed. I'm just taking a look at final trades. We've got the Dow up 72 points here. S&P down 12, NASDAQ down 77. And the Dow was over 100 at one point. I think it was up over 200 at one point today, but it couldn't hold it. Final trades, I'm looking at Rocket Lab at 14.32, up 27 cents. SoFi up 6 cents only at 17.70. GameStop 189.50, up 4.34. Matterport lost 140 at 20.87, but did come back from a low of 20.45. So we had a bit of a pullback recovery, but ever so bit little. ME down 56 cents to 8.72. Smart Rent up 8 cents. SPIR up 20. ATIP gained 20 cents to 3.97. Thank you very much. Keep it going. Sextera up 20 cents to 9.43, closing towards the high of the day here. Yep, it did. 288,000 shares. They hired looks like a new director of the investor relations department. I like the sound of that. I love hearing this kind of news from newly traded companies. You bring in industry veterans who know what they're doing in the IR department. This is important. AMC down 72 cents, Robinhood down 15, Vanek down 97, Home Depot up $4, IBM up $1, Dow up 72, Microsoft down 5, Apple down $1.50, Tesla up 17 to 791, Bed Bath Beyond up 82 cents, BlackBerry down 24, Royal Caribbean 92.37, got as high as 95.22, but gave up about almost $3 from its high of the day. Still had an up day. Goldman 400 on the nose, up 9.15 a share. I think this is poised for a breakout. It's gonna go. That's just my opinion. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here. This is good stuff. What else is going on? The thing I'm eyeballing, AB says, is 4 or 5 of the 12.50 Sextera contracts for April, or 5 $10 Sexteras for January. Which you think is better? See. I love contracts that are at the money, closer, but I also like contracts with time. So, you got one or the other, but the $10 contracts would move very quickly if the stock does anything, because you're at 943. We had a good day today. So I'd be looking at those 10s. You might mix it up, get a little of the 10s, get some of the 12.50s for April, cover yourself that way if you can. 2 of one, 2 of the other if you can. You ever watch those countries that cut up the old ships that are decommissioned? What a polluted mess that is. India, Turkey, that's the bottom of the bottom, man. That is the bottom of the barrel for industry. You got guys there with a life expectancy of 40. It's bad. Let's see. What else is going on? A SoFi hit 18. I went back to work. Now it's down. It's sad, isn't it? AB, heck, I could buy 10 12.50 Sextera for January and have 18 Sextera 12.50 for January total. Don't know how imminent a pop is, but it's only got to go a few bucks to print. Well, that's just it. A couple of dollar move on some of these stocks you have, and you guys make a ton of money. The leverage you guys are now amassing with your options. I mean, I was thinking over the weekend, how many contracts do you guys own that watch me? How many contracts do you have of SoFi collectively? I was trying to figure out, do you guys have 1,000 call options? Do you guys have 3,000 call options? Do you guys have 10,000 call options on SoFi? Through all the options, all the strikes, all my viewers. Because if you guys have 10,000 contracts, you got 1 million shares. This thing goes $7 a share. You guys are up $7 million. Yeah, it's going to make a difference around here. I'm excited for you. That's for darn sure. When I buy a call and it increases in value, at what point do I get out, and how? How far before expiring? How do I do the transaction? Well, Ed, the way you bought the contract is the way you're going to sell it. You're gonna go to your app, which I'm assuming you're using on your phone or your computer, and you're going to go sell to close because you did a buy to open transaction. You bought an opening position of calls. You're now going to do a sell to close on your calls. And then it'll ask you what price you want to sell them at. Oh, and which ones? Well, the ones you're going to sell are the ones you own. So you'll click on the ones you own. It'll give you the option. There'll be a sell button beside it. You'll hit the sell button. It'll be automatically sell to close. And then you put the price in it you want. And that's the key to making money in this market, is when you sell this contract is when you lock in your profit. Now, if the market is, let's say it's 590 to 595, last trade at 593, okay? And you bought them at $2 or something like that. I'm just pretending with you. The 5-cent spread is no big deal. It's if you get $5.90 or $5.95, that price is no big deal. But if the price is like $5.90 is the bid, $6.25 is the sell price, the lowest seller is $6.25. Last trade at $6. I would put your stock in for sale at 1 nickel below the cheapest seller, which is $6.25. You're offering at $6.20, or if it's $6.20, you're offering at $6.15, and just put that as a limit order for the day and leave it there. Don't offer your contract at the price someone's willing to pay for it. You just gave away 30 cents on a contract. That's $30 out of your pocket. You got 10 of these things, you just gave away $300. You don't want to do that. So you want to get the highest price possible. And so you might be the cheapest guy offered at $3.10 versus $3.15 or $3.20 versus $3.25, but take the higher end price on the way up. That's how you do it. Let's see. Ed, the built-in time value contract starts to degrade significantly around 45 days to SPIR expires. So judge from there what's good for you, 50%. Ed is saying, thanks. I was wondering about a timeline. I have some that are well up, but still not expiring until January. So look around November for those, I guess. Carol, Uncle Bruce, thanks for the explanation you gave us here. I have about 15 covered calls between 12.5 and 20 expiring March. I'm up 130%. So do I sell them now, or I get further out for the 2023 contracts? Is that too far? You're sitting on March contracts. You're in no hurry. This is not the time to worry about selling a March contract. You got another month where you don't have to do a darn thing. Right now, you can ride your positions for another month. Now, I'm assuming if you've written, I'm just double checking here, if you have written contracts, that's different. But if you own calls, you're good. But if you're written, I'm not sure if you're written for sure. Is that CC actually covered calls? I don't quite know what's happening here. Okay. Carol's talking about Matterport. I think you're long calls. I think you own them. And I'm guessing that you own 15 calls that have 12, that are 12 5s, 12 50s up to 20s, and you're up on those. I say sit tight. That's the position I'd be doing. Okay. Larry, telling me the bells rang. And thank you, sir. They sure did. Thank you, buddy. Uncle Bruce, Sean is saying, Sean, hi, Uncle Bruce. I'm currently holding January the 22nd, 2021, 80 strike puts on Royal Caribbean. The stock is up to 92. I'm currently down 53%. Is there any hope for this position, or should I just look at rolling or even at a loss? You have till January. You don't do anything. You just sit tight. Yeah, I would not worry about this. I would just sit tight with these. The stock. Let me put it to you this: the philosophy of the market. Okay, the whole thing. All right. Royal Caribbean stock now for the last 2 to 3 weeks has been inching higher. It hasn't had a single day where it went up $10 a share. It went up just a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. It's true that when a stock goes higher in price, it will move more, but not in a percentage term, in dollar terms. In other words, a $5 stock might move 20 cents in a day. A $50 stock might move $2 in a day. A $90 stock can move $3 or $4 in a day. All right. None of it is personal. None of it is trying to make you mad. It's just normal. All right. Now, that's number one. Number two, for the last 4 or 5 weeks, the stock has slowly been rising and is now reaching this $92, $94 range, which is absurdly too high. I am shocked that the company has not made an announcement to issue stock from its treasury to raise another $500 million. I'm waiting for them to announce a 5 million share sale of stock at $90 a share to bring in $450 million more money, which gives them another month to live. I'm shocked that they aren't issuing 10 million shares at 90 something bucks and bring in 900 million. I'm shocked that they're not issuing 20 million shares to bring in $1.8 billion and pay down $1.5 billion of bond debt that they issued. I'm shocked. But I won't be surprised when they announce it. And when they announce it, and they will announce it, they need money. They need cash. They got debt to roll over going forward. The temptation will be too much not to issue more paper. And they will pay down debt. Absolutely pay down debt. Can't answer that call right now, sir. So they will issue stock to pay down debt between now and the end of the year. The minute they announce that they're paying down some debt, the stock will drop $10 a share. Zzz, just like that. All of a sudden, your calls will be down 53% 1 minute, and you'll be breaking even or up 15% the next. The company has got to raise billions of dollars of cash to pay down billions of dollars in debt that they've issued over the last 2 years. They're paying interest rates between 4 and 12%, and they got to knock this stuff off. And high stock prices are the remedy that they will use. Remember, the stock of Royal Caribbean in January of 2020, before all this began, was sitting at the 120, 130 mark. Right now, we're in the low 90s. They have issued almost 50% more stock than ever existed before. This company has been diluted to the max. Even if they earned as much money as they earned in 2018, 19, they have to divide all those profits into way, way more shares. And it'll justify a stock price of 60, 65. But they won't make that kind of money. They're not going to make that kind of profit for 2021. They're not going to make that kind of money for 2022. They'll be lucky if they can make it for 2023 because they have a problem. The problem they got into actually making net profit is they got to pay the interest payments off first before they have a net profit. They have way more interest payments to pay off now that they didn't have 2 years ago. And so they will not ever earn as a company as much money as they earned in 18 and 19 net profit without factoring in all these interest payments on top of it, off the top line. So they'll be lucky to make half the money they used to make, and they have almost double the amount of stock outstanding. I think it's ridiculous. So I'm going to guess the shares might be justifying a $45 fundamental net profit value in 2024-25. That's where I'm coming from. I'm just using mathematics. It's nothing personal, just business. But right now, the stock is trading on emotion, the emotion of going back to cruising. There are people watching YouTubers who are on cruise ships right now, and they're getting all excited because they see Don Terrace and they see all my other buddies on these cruise ships, and they're sailing again. And everyone's happy and smiling, and they're so happy to be on the cruise ships. The reality, though, is that these folks are on cruise ships with 40% capacity, 60% capacity, and half of the people on the ships or more are on the ships using credits that they earned by keeping their money on deposit with the cruise lines back in 2020, 21, 19, 20, 21. And so the cruise lines are using money they burned off a long time ago and replaced it with borrowed money. And they have to give these cruisers their credits. They have to give them their trips. There are probably 25 million cruises that have to be delivered by the cruise lines. It's going to take them 3 years to eat through all the credits, to burn them off before fresh cash comes in from additional people. So without 100% capacity and with half the ship being credits and the other half being cash, there is no money in cruise ship line. There's no profits in cruise ship line. So yeah, I do nothing. I just sit back. You're 1 minute away from an announcement whenever it happens that the company is going to issue another 10 or 20 million shares for cash. And you're instantly going to see a $10, $15 drop in the price of the stock. Instantly. So just hang tight, because it's gone too far, too much. That's just me. Okay. What else is going on? I've been buying SOFI call options since the turn of the century. Currently sitting on 14 billion calls, and no biggie, no problem. Okay, I'm over 7,000 shares, mainly real estate, mainly real shares, but 25 options. Okay. Okay. What else? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, here. Plus, with Royal, I had a friend on the Odyssey, brand new ship, holds 4,000 passengers, 800 people on board, 20% occupancy. You cannot make money. Even if everyone on that ship is paying cash for everything they're doing, you lose money, because that ship, to move it, burns a lot of fuel. And to power it, you can't only air condition deck 5 and not air condition 6, 7, and 8. You got to air condition the whole ship in tropical water. That uses up precious fuel, huge money, and oil is up. So yeah, it's a loser. They're losing money. Thanks, of course. Appreciate you taking the time to explain the Royal Caribbean situation. Now, how do I stop myself from doubling down and buying more puts? Yeah, well, you can always buy more of those, or you can grab a put that's closer in the money. But I just expect I'm waiting for analysts to come out and really tell the truth about what's going on. The problem is that a lot of the analysts that cover the cruise lines are represented by the investment bankers that have raised all the money for these guys to keep them alive. And so if you have an analyst poo-pooing the company stock, while at the same time the bond department is into their bonds for $3 billion with all their favorite clients, kind of tough position to be in. And so, you have to watch for independent analysis, but don't worry, the stock will react. Cruise ships are just such a disgusting luxury at this point. What are you going to do? What's air conditioning, says Best Bet. What is that? Oh, man. Unbelievable. Look, I love cruising. I do. I can't wait to go on a cruise. I really would love to go on a cruise, but the cruise lines are not going to make any money right now. It's not looking good. Uncle Bruce, the economy is unsustainable. You do know that, do you? What can I say? There's $17 trillion in people's bank accounts in the United States. $17 trillion of cash. And a bunch of that is going to be spent on a recovering economy when the virus goes away. Problem is, the virus isn't going away. Because we have enough people around who won't get vaccinated. They're keeping it around for us. And so the virus just keeps on multiplying and killing people and keeping the economy under pressure globally. And it's not Americans, it's not Canadians, it's everywhere. It is everybody everywhere. And then there are countries around the world that can't get vaccinated fast enough because they're a third world country and they only got a 3% vaccination rate. They don't have the money to buy it like America does or Canada does or Germany does. And now we, the West, have to provide them with the vaccine in order to control the damn spread of the virus. We have to vaccinate the world, unfortunately. But again, it is what it is. It ain't 99% that holds most of that. Mr. T, Brucey, the economy's totally unsustainable, right? I'm just here for the balance like the BBC. AB, SPIR and Rocket Lab, you think will be $20 again any day? Wouldn't surprise you anyway. Any day? Sure, it could be at any time. I just don't know what announcement will make it, what analyst will do it, when, how, where. I'm happy if Rocket Lab went up 30 cents a day for a month. I'd be happy SPIR. You go up 30 cents a day for $1.50 a week for 10 weeks in a row, 5 weeks in a row. That'd be fine. Do we have to get $5 in one day? It would be nice, but I don't want to count on that because I don't know how long it'll sustain that. But I love the slow, steady rise. I love that. So, we'll see. Dana, Michael, no options, just the stock. Mr. T, what happened to all those second world countries anyway? What happened to those guys? I don't know. I don't know whatever happened to those guys. They're out there somewhere, weren't they? Anyway, there you go. There's your story today, kids. We did have some gainers today. We had some losers today, but that seems to be the new normal for us. So we now have 8 former SPACs plus GameStop that we watch very closely, and then we keep an eye on AMC and Robinhood, and then we watch our favorite big stocks. And like I say, we had a mixed market today. The Dow was up, S&P and Nasdaq was down. Oil was up $1.47 to $75.45. And we have all kinds of issues happening out there, all kinds of scenarios going on with interest rates, inflation, supply, all kinds of stuff. But I like the position that our eight stocks are in, the former SPACs that we follow. I like the business they're in, the businesses they're in, and I like their upside potential. I think it's fantastic. There you have it. That's our story, and I'm sticking to it. Let's see what's going on. Gonzo is saying, I'm going on the breakaway on Sunday. I'll let you know. I'm going to be on the air tonight twice more. I'm going to be on the air at 7 o'clock on Traveling with Bruce, my original channel, for members only. And then at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, if you got nothing better to do, join me on Traveling with Bruce for the big show. It's the weekly update on cruise ship news and travel info and stuff. So, and a hangout, saying hi and chillaxing. Come on by and say hi and pop in and see how it's going. Love to have you come by. But in the meantime, I'm going to say my goodbyes, and I'm going to say thank you, all of you today, for joining me yet again. I encourage you, though, if you want to learn about option writing and making money in down markets, flat markets, and even making money in up markets, check out my classes on my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca, not .com, .ca. There are lessons there that you can pick up on how to write options, aggressive option strategies, writing contracts, and buying and selling calls and puts, spreads, all kinds of stuff, psychology, some good stuff over there. And check it out. And I think you make some money. You can learn how this works. Become smarter than the average guy you're up against. You need to know more than half the other players. Of all the market players, of the millions of them, you have to be in the top 50% of the class. And if you can work yourself into the top 10% of the class by learning how options work, you'll be in the top 10% of knowledge. And you now have a 90% chance of making money over everybody else. You're 9/10 of the way there. And that's why on this channel, you see comments coming across here all the time from my members who are telling me, I did this, I did this, I did that, I did that. And they're writing contracts for $5, buying them back for $1. They're writing GameStop contracts with 3 days to go for $8, buying them back for $2. They're writing Matterport contracts that they wrote on Thursday last week. They're buying them back today and tomorrow for less than half what they sold them for. There is money to be had. Whether you're making $100 a trade, $300 a trade, $1,000 a trade, $5,000 a trade, it's all relative to the size of your account. And invest in yourself and take some of these lessons. Check out these lessons. Make an investment. They're 2 hours in length, so give yourself some time. And you can watch them again and again. And wise up. Learn how this is going, and just be smarter than your competition. And join us Monday to Friday, twice a week, as we fill you in on what's going on and how it's working. And let's see if we can make some money together. Thank you today for joining me as usual. I love it. We'll see you tonight on TWB, Traveling with Bruce. If not tonight, I'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern Time, 1 hour before the opening tomorrow morning, as we try to make more money tomorrow and get richer again. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a great night. Enjoy yourself, and take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't get sick on me. And let's see what we can do, what's going on, and let's go from there. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. We'll catch you tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you, Shaky Fry One.